From the America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, Top Gun in the West is at stake when the Anaheim Piranhas battle the Arizona Rattlers. In the first meeting between these two teams, the Anaheim Piranhas muted the Rattle of Arizona on their way to a 7-0 mark. But last week's first loss of the season to the Tampa Bay Storm has head coach Dave Pirilli sweating, wondering if his squad can regroup. Danny White's Arizona Rattlers squad has won 5 straight since their loss at the Anaheim Pond. Spearheaded by the league's top passing crew, the Sun City contingent craves the sweet taste of revenge. Supremacy in the West is at stake next on ESPN. Gunfight at the OK Corral. After all, Tombstone's not that far from Phoenix, Arizona. Arena. A combined record of 14-2 for the Anaheim Piranhas and the Arizona Rattlers. The standings say it all. Let's get it on. Hello, everyone. Along with Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Todd Christensen. And Kirk, one of the issues in arena football is scoring. Everybody knows that everybody scores eventually. But the Anaheim Piranhas are 7-1 for a very significant reason. Their scoring defense, headed by Kevin Carroll.
Kevin Carroll has been a great surprise for the head coach of this team this year. You look at the numbers he has put up, 5 sacks. And this is a guy that can do it on both sides of the ball. He's been very versatile. You also see him at fullback tonight. Take a look at the offensive lineup tonight for Anaheim. The offensive line has done a tremendous job all year long. It's going to be up to Scooter Melander really to have a big night tonight for Anaheim to have a good chance.
Now, the Arizona Rattlers have been spearheaded by Cedric Bonner and Hunky Cooper. They're the ones that have been getting most of the publicity. But arguably the best player on their team is their Iron Man, Randy Gatewood.
Randy Gatewood. We came in here about 3 weeks ago, and Randy Gatewood put up big numbers. How about last week? Iron Man of the entire league. He is hoping to have another big night tonight. He is not alone offensively. Take a look at this offensive lineup. Hunky Cooper is a guy to keep an eye on. Also, Randy Gatewood. We mentioned Calvin Schexnader is also a very talented wide receiver. And Cedric Bonner, one of the finest quarterbacks in the entire AFL, leads the Rattlers.
And Cedric Bonner has a lot of numbers, but take a look at this sellout crowd. And I tell you what, they do it up right here, Kirk. Not unlike the way the Chicago Bulls introduced their players. This sellout group understands the significance of this game. Both teams 7-1.
7-1, a lot at stake in this ball game. This crowd, you got to keep in mind, Arizona, they've been away for 2 weeks. They've played in some different environments, and they're hoping to come back into this environment and take advantage of it.
Rodney Maison back to receive the kick. Arizona won the toss, but opted to defer, and that says a lot about the confidence in their defense.
Yeah, and I think that's something in yesterday Danny White mentioned to us. He said if they get a chance, they win the toss. In a game that has potential of so much scoring, he wants to hit the showers at least with a tie. That way you get the ball back to start the second half, and maybe you can take advantage of that.
Those will remember on May 11th, this particular game, Arizona threw into the end zone to end the game. In fact, twice were thwarted end zone throws at the last minute, and I'm able to get the victory. Maison takes it on the roll out across the 10. It's Maison out to the 15. Trey Ware taking the place of the suspended Andy Tracus. Pretty good return for Anaheim.
And they get pretty good field position here. And this is Scooter Melander, 5th in the AFL right now in yards. But the guy is a tremendous leader, has great poise, and we mentioned that his offensive line has done a nice job in protecting him this year. He's only been sacked twice, and a big reason is because he has the poise, the presence of mind to get rid of that football when he ggets pressure. We'll see if he can do that tonight.
And yet a lot of the beef as to why they're not undefeated is on the shoulders of Scooter Melander. They feel like he's got to come through with some big plays this evening. 1st and 10 at the 14. Jarrell in motion right. Melander goes out to him just across midfield. Enough for the first down.
Arizona's defense really going to have a good night tonight. They're going to have to get pressure on Scooter Melander to have a chance, and the guy to keep an eye on up front is going to be Richard Ash, number 69. Now, Bo Kelly, number 2, is another guy that's done a nice job of filling in for an injured Bob McMillan earlier in the year. This defense, tonight it's going to be a question of which defense shows up ready to play to put their offense in a better chance to win.
1st and 10 just across midfield. Jarrell in motion left. Melander with a quick drop gets it to Jarrell again on the hook pattern. Don't forget that Adrian Jarrell is somebody who missed 2 weeks and nonetheless has had 54 catches on the season. Earlier in the year had a 13-catch game, which was the league standard until last night. Barry Wagner broke with a 15-catch game. But he is, needless to say, their go-to guy.
He's their go-to guy. He's out of Notre Dame. And the thing that's amazing about Adrian Jarrell, you mentioned the injury, he is not a blazer. He has ways of finding, just different ways of finding to get open, and we'll see if he can do that time.
Jarrell in motion left again on 2nd and 3. Screen pass out, not unable to come up with the ball. Sam Hernandez was the one they were trying to get the tight end screen to. Even though it's not completed, I like that call because they're taking some chances on 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Sam Hernandez, because of the pass rush and because of the presence of all the talented wide receivers, great call here by Babe Farrelly, just trying to take away the pass rush, keep this defense honest, and get the big fella involved early in the game. Those offensive linemen love that.
And you mentioned Richard Ash in the pass rush. He was the one that was in pass coverage, and if he's not there, Hernandez might have gone the distance. 3rd and 3. At the 18-yard line, Jarrell in motion. Now he comes back the other way. They flood the side with 3 wides to the right. Melander, plenty of time, throws deep, wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Andrew Hill. The very thing that you pointed out, Kirk, was it was pass rush. There was absolutely none there. Melander went to about his 3rd choice.
Yeah, look at Melander's eyes. He wants to go to the primary right there. Because of the protection, it allows him to just kind of shift over in the pocket, and that's very, very tough for Milton Vaughn to have to protect guarding up against a talented receiver like Jai Hill like that. That's tough.
The extra point is off to the left, and this is surprising because arguably Howfield is considered the best kicker in the league.
Man, I think we're contagious. We had this happen last week to us at Iowa.
Well, the Piranhas, no pun intended, draw first blood, 6-zip. Tonight's presentation of Arena Football on ESPN is brought to you by Micotin. To stop the itch and cool the burn of athlete's foot, use Micotin. Andrew Jai Hill had a sprained ankle coming into the game. I saw him walking around the hotel lobby kind of gimpy. Didn't look too gimpy on that catch.
No, he was loving the fact that Scooter Melander had that kind of opportunity to sit back in the pocket. We mentioned at the outset of the program, one thing that Arizona's going to have to do is get after Melander.
Howfield with the deep kick. Hunky Cooper is going to have to play it off the screen, which he does, and does it cleanly. Cuts up, he loses contain out to the 15, across the 20. Howfield upends him down at about the 22-yard line. Great blocking on the part of Arizona to set themselves up beyond the midfield stripe.
Hunky Cooper is one of the more dangerous return men in the entire league. He is very familiar with the nets. They're tight here. He gets it off the net. And then, as you mentioned, Todd, great blocking downfield. And he doesn't want to go around Howfield. He elects to go right over top of him. And I guarantee you that will not be one of the last kick returns you'll see from number 14.
Ian Howfield didn't make the tackle. He just kind of got in the way. Please trip over me. Yeah. 1st and 10 at the 23. Flags are down. Bonner goes deep for Greenwood. Almost a terrific one-handed catch. We'll see what the penalty is. Wes Fritz, our referee.
Offside, 91 defense, 3-yard penalty, 2nd, or 1st down and 7.
Wes Fritz, the referee, tell us that Sai Pulavati is the one who is offside. Cedric Bonner, you see the 3 categories to the left? 2 of those 3 are first. Yards, he's also first with 2,079, 62.7 completion percentage. That's outstanding. Mike Perez, of course, has touchdowns that are just ridiculous.
That's right.
He's second in that category. 1st and 7 at the 20. Hand off to Bo Kelly, who had some running room before Burchett came up and made the tackle.
You'll see that periodically throughout the night. Now, you know, take a look at Anaheim's defense, and they feel very, very confident with their interior line. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on them tonight. And we mentioned number 62, Kevin Carroll, and his secondary is one of the finest in the entire league, led by Carlton Johnson, who is a great player who can step up and also drop back and cover about anybody there is offensively in this league.
In the conversations that we've had with coaches around the league, the general consensus is that's the best cover person in arena football. 2nd and 4 at the 17. Schexnayder in motion, jump off sides, and here comes Kelly again on the run. Coming up to make the tackle is Maison, but my guess is that it's going to be offsides, and they'll get another free play.
Yeah, I like Bonner using the cadence early in the game. You have a lot of energy. A lot of people are excited, trying to anticipate the count. Bonner mixing up the count, and I'm sure Danny White is probably instructing him on that, but that's good to see early in the game.
Well, it's good to see if you're an Arizona fan. If you're an Anaheim fan, you've got to be a little bit frustrated by the fact that you want to know what the deal is in terms of whether or not he's intentionally drawing off by bobbing his head. But of course, Danny White, a former quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys, certainly knows all the tricks of the trade. How much better a quarterback coach could you have than Danny White?
I don't think it could get much better, especially in this league. Danny White has taken over this franchise as general manager and head coach since it's really started out, and he is a great leader, loves the game of football. He has no aspirations of making it to the NFL, just loves to be around the guys and the camaraderie, something he just can't get out of his blood.
And the face itself tells you that he's intense. This is not a casual thing for Danny White. 2nd and 1, just inside the 15-yard line. Bonner with a 3-step drop, cuts underneath. Gatewood with a nice catch on the slant route inside the 5-yard line. Brought down by Maison, but not before they'll set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, right now, Anaheim has to be very careful. They love to play the kind of defense where they give, and then they get inside the red zone and they change up their defense. Bonner drops back, and on the quick slant, he's just finding the hole. He and Gatewood have really thrown towards getting a good feel for each other, and Gatewood finds the hole, 1st down and goal.
Pitch out to Kelly going left. Good blocking at the point of attack. Looked to me like he got in, and he did.
3 yards.
Bo Kelly with the sweep left, about a 4-yarder. Great block by Calvin Schexnayder.
Great lead block here, and I'll tell you what, Bo Kelly, 8th touchdown of the year. He has really, the last couple weeks, shown that he has power. He shed the tackle there by number 1, Carlton Johnson, and we've had enough momentum and strength to get into the end zone, but I like that block out front to spring.
Usually you don't see wide receivers that block that intensely, but clearly Schexnayder very physical with a very physical player in Carlton Johnson. We're on for the extra point, and it's good. Now, as a result of the conversion, Arizona able to take the lead 7-6. We'll be back. Phoenix, Bo Kelly with a 3-yard touchdown run. Not usually the way Arizona gets it in the end zone, but they showed that they're a little bit physical up front.
Yeah, they come into this game and really feeling very confident up front, dressing 8 people in the interior line for the first time the entire year. They need to do a better job coming into the night of running with the football, and they've really set the tone here in this first drive.
Well, last week Jay Gruden said that was the most physical football game he had been in his Arena League history, and so Danny White understood that coming into this game, they weren't going to win on finesse alone. We're with the kickoff, and it's going to come off to the left. Maison makes the catch 5 yards deep in the end zone, breaks a tackle, gets across the 10. Nice spin move getting out to about the 12-yard line. Excellent job by Maison without much help.
The last time these two teams had really a clincher in the 4th quarter, took that kickoff back late to get a touchdown, and he showed he is very good returning the ball. Yeah, they came out for walkthroughs, and they had a hard time getting accustomed to these nets because
there's a man that heading into, you see the losing record, he told us that this is by far the best team he has had in his 8 years in football. Chemistry is a big issue. He really believes these people like one another. Brissett in motion left, chucked at the line of scrimmage, so Philander goes out to Jarrell, out to the right, gets across midfield. That's Jarrell's 3rd catch already.
It's very interesting to see early in the game how different schemes on both sides of the ball defensively. Here, you saw a bump on the wing back, but with Jarrell very, very soft, and Randy Gatewood feeling that he's a good enough athlete to adjust and has the quickness to come up and make the play. One of the things that both teams believe in, keep everything in front of you, make them earn it inside that 10-yard line.
Well, they sure gave Jarrell an awful lot of room for being on the short side of the field. 1st and 10, just inside the 24-yard line. Jarrell in motion left. Great pass run. Wanted to go with the hook and go.
2nd down.
But Joe Birch said that ain't going to happen.
Joe Birch coming right over the middle, just shaking, actually shaking full of body. And when he does that, you see that the MAC linebacker's coming to really apply the more pressure. But the guy that gets through there is Joe Birch. And you know, we'll see if Darrell Gooden's going to continue to come on that MAC blitz, because that's gutsy.
And give Melander some credit. It was clear that he was throwing that ball away. He didn't take the sack, showing a little savvy as a veteran. 2nd and 10, Burchett in motion left. Melander with a 5-step drop. Gets it to Burchett right in the middle, who settles down at about the 14-yard line. Just found a dead spot in the zone, and I'm surprised that Arizona on that particular play decided to go with the zone defense.
You'll see Arizona mix up their coverage a little bit more than Anaheim as far as some bump coverage, some tight man-to-man in that particular thing. I would have liked to see Burchett maybe go up to about 11 or 12, because now they're at 3rd and 1. And, you know, an experienced receiver such as Burchett, you would think that he would get that extra yard. We'll see if they can pick up the first down.
Todd Christensen along with Kirk Herbstreit here at America West Arena. The Anaheim Piranha and the Arizona Rattlers. 3rd and 1, just inside the 14-yard line. Pitch out to Kevin Carroll. He just ran some people over. There's no way they're going to strip him of the ball. Big mistake on the part of Randy Gatewood, who decided, no, I'll take the ball away from him. Kevin Carroll said, absolutely not. I'll take you and the ball into the end zone.
We talked about Kevin Carroll with the 5 sacks, but he can also run with the football. He gets this pitch, and he knows what to do with it. He lowers his shoulder. He shakes about 3 tackles. He carries Randy Gatewood into the end zone. That man is unbelievable.
Question for you. A little too early to go for the 2-point conversion?
I think right now, yeah. I think throughout the game you're going to see that decision. And let's see if he can bang this one through.
And the other issue, too, is that Halfield wants to get a little bit of confidence. Well, here's the 265-pound fullback who made the Arizona Rattler tacklers look silly. And he decides, hey, Gatewood, you want to ride? Well, come on along. Anaheim over Arizona at this point. The defenses have not been able to stop one another. The importance of this game is clearly magnified in the standings. You don't have to be Fellini to figure this one out. 7-1 for both Anaheim and Arizona. Needless to say, the winner is going to be a step up towards the playoffs heading into August.
I think tonight, you know, you're getting late in the season. We're going to talk about a little bit later the fact that Anaheim knocks off Arizona with the 4-point difference, and that'll come into play in a tiebreaker. But you're right. You know, here you are, 9th game of the year. Very, very important for both teams to play well, and both teams kind of have an interesting style coming into the game. You have Arizona coming back home after being on the road and playing kind of a lackluster, unemotional games, so they have a challenge. And then on the other side, you have Anaheim, who has to get over losing their first game from last week.
I would have thought that they would have been a little bit flat, but clearly they aren't. Strange to point out, as you did at the top of the show, Kevin Carroll, if you're at the top of the show with us, no, that isn't a misprint. That is the same guy that leads the league in sacks, who had the 15-yard touchdown run. Halfield with the kick. Hunky Cooper back. But he's not able to play it off the screen. Wes Fritz made it a point to tell me that if it hits the wall, he's going to blow the whistle immediately, and that's what he did. Great kick by Halfield. Now the Rattlers are going to have to go 45 yards for a touchdown.
You can bet Halfield is aiming for that every single time. I don't know if the official actually told him that, but he was booming some kicks yesterday in practice, at least 70, 75 yards off those tees, and I know that the elements have something to do with that, being indoors like this.
And it's one thing to do it in practice, it's another thing to do it in a game. Right. As you well know, there are a lot of guys that are all-league Thursdays. Cedric Bonner, really it was the running game in that first drive, but we'll see about 25 to 35 tosses by Bonner. But not right now, as he doesn't like what he sees and calls timeout.
Sound like there was a little confusion there with who should raise their hand and declare tight end.
Well, as a result of whoever the tight end was or was not, we've got to take a break. We'll be back in a little bit. Costly timeout burned if for whatever reason the tight end didn't raise his hand. Bonner went over to chat with Danny White, and he has the play that he likes, but that's an issue here in arena football. The tight end has to remember to put his hand up every time, and clearly he didn't. He felt like it was worth it to burn the timeout.
Yeah, only one guy can raise their hand. It might have been a little confusion on a couple guys raising their hand. You can see as he breaks the huddle, you can see one of the ends raising his hand, declaring the tight end.
Schexnayder in motion. Behind him, left. Play action fake. absolutely not fooled was Carlton Johnson. We talked about the fact that Schexnayder had made a great block before. This time he went into the blocking mode much too soon. Didn't fool Johnson. He's able to make the tackle on Cooper.
And that's also a play to go into man-to-man coverage. You can see that Maison just slips right around. That was a zone coverage, and that really is a great defensive call. Maison has great quickness. You can see he's undersized at 5'8", 180, but he can make up for with the quickness and also the upper body strength. There was a nice play in getting around Schexnayder.
The mistake that Schexnayder made is he didn't even make it look like he was running a route. He ran right out at Maison, and he was not fooled. Good play. 2nd and 14. Schexnayder in motion right. Big pass rush, just able to get it on. Jamon Smith, the Jill linebacker, right in his face, and at 6'6", 190 pounds. Tough to get the ball over Jamon.
Tough to get it over him, and he must have found a seam with that slender body. He comes right up the middle. Boy, and I'll tell you what, Cedric Bonner, very, very lucky, very fortunate to get rid of that football because nobody touches number 6, Jamon Smith.
Came right on what they call from the middle, the Bullets blitz, and as you say, came completely untouched. The fullback in this case, Tracy Mao, just did not pick him up. 3rd and 14.
No, yes.
Plenty of time, the deep hook route. The deep hook route by Henry Milton. And he's able to get the first down out at about the 23-yard line. And after all the compliments that we've paid to the Anaheim Piranhas in terms of their defense, atrocious coverage there, Kurt.
Yeah, 3rd and long, you really have to be aware of this. And this is Danny White yesterday told us with Cedric Tillman down that Henry Milton is going to be a guy they're going to look forward to going to. They've been waiting to use him. You can see it looked like a face mask there, but that's a play that you have to be expecting on 3rd and long like that. They're going to get right to the sticks and turn. That's a timing route. Bonner and Milton right on target with one another.
Well, in breaking a tackle, Milton got a little more than the sticks. A 22-yard gain now with 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Bonner back has Schexnayder on the out route, and had he continued on the out route, he would have got a lot more yardage than he did. Instead, coming back inside, Darren Williams able to make the stick.
Well, again, yesterday, Danny White said that that Cedric Bonner is a guy that right now is through 2 interceptions the last 2 games, and he said one of his favorite targets is Calvin Schexnayder. He felt it was Schexnayder tonight. These two have to get back in the rhythm because for the last couple weeks, these guys have not been in sync, and he's hoping tonight maybe a nice, easy throw like that is enough to get him going.
I'm sure the do-rag he's wearing has something to do with that. That's probably got him excited and ready to get in sync with his main man. 2nd and 3. Bonner back, gets the ball out to Milton again. And Maison gets him out of downs at about the 12-yard line, but once again, a big catch by Milton. And you called it earlier. He's somebody they're going to look to.
They'll continue to look for him, and this is nothing new as far as Anaheim's defense. This is almost what they're hoping for, is to make you earn the points. They do not want to allow the big play, an instant score. They're going to hope to get inside the 15, inside the 10-yard line, and then they tighten up the screws on the defense.
Trying to
wide exclude 10. No.
Now, if you notice, something that Danny White did like a lot of pitchers do.
Wide, exclude 10 on first down, ready?
Notice he put his hand up to cover his mouth so nobody could read his lips. Schexnayder in motion left. 3-step drop. Gets it to Schexnayder underneath. And he's going to be tackled at about the 6-yard line. And one of the things that this is doing, you mentioned the Piranha bend, don't break defense, but this has got to do a lot for Bonner's confidence. That's about 4 or 5 straight completions now.
Yeah, he's in a great rhythm. You're going to see Schexnayder go into motion here, and he picks up a great deal of momentum. He's just going to stop at about 5 to 7 yards, and before he turns, that ball is gone. And that's, again, the rhythm and the relationship between the quarterback and a wide receiver. And these two, even though they have been out of sync the last couple weeks, they're on tonight so far.
Second down and 4 at the 7-yard line. Bonner gets it out again, this time to Hunky Cooper just inside the 5-yard line. And this is where, as you pointed out, the Piranha defense is asserting itself.
Hey, you can almost feel and see the difference in the attitude defensively. And Babe Pirelli yesterday mentioning that the one thing that they like to do is once you get inside the 5 and 10-yard line, they're going to still rush the 3 guys, but these linebackers now really come into play because there aren't as many holes to hit. The field is shrunk down, obviously, and you have 5 guys dropping back there. It makes it very, very difficult to squeeze it in there. This is going to be a tight play here.
Something that you and I discussed, though, is the fact that with 3 wide receivers, and now they're all lined up on the short side of the field. This will be interesting. 3rd and 2. They're going to go with the sweep. He is cut down. Hunky Cooper is cut down by Darren Williams, and I really don't like that play only because it's painfully predictable, isn't it, Kurt?
Pretty predictable. You have everybody, your strength into the boundary. You come outside to get a lead block there by Gooden, and I'll tell you what, if even without Williams making that play, there are 3 other defenders there just waiting. And right now, Anaheim's defense their scheme is working to perfection because they have them inside the red zone at 4th down.
Cedric Bonner went over to talk with Danny White, but he doesn't need to be in a hurry because the quarter is going to run out before the play clock. Now that affords him the luxury to go over to Danny White and talk about it longer to get exactly what he wants to do here on this crucial 4th and 1 when we come back. 13-7 after. In balmy Phoenix, Arizona. It was a tropical 105 degrees today. I know that because I happen to have run in this weather.
You're out there doing your sprints. The weather cannot stop you.
You're out there doing it. Kirk, I got to ask you this question right here. We see Danny White. He lets the quarter run out. That gives him a chance to chat with Cedric Bonner, but that also gives the defense a chance to regroup. Good decision to let the quarter run out?
I think so. If you're a confident quarterback, you believe in your offense, you believe in your offensive line, I think that's really why he let the clock run down there and get his chance to go talk to Danny White.
He's drawn 2 offside penalties in this situation. 4th and 1. Pitches out to Cooper. Once again, let's see with the halfback pass. Fools everybody. What a great call by Danny White. Everybody came up for Hunky Cooper, and he does, and how appropriate it would be in an Olympic year. He does the shot put to Randy Gatewood for the touchdown.
I love this call. You can feel Anaheim just really wanting to come up and make the play to stop the run. I mean, you're thinking it's going to go. Once Cooper gets the ball, Bonner flips it to Cooper. Once he gets the ball, everybody coming up, they think they got him stopped, flips it right over it. And the way he did it, almost like, you want this?
No. Let me ask you this. Would Hunky Cooper have been a quarterback that would have been recruited by Ohio State? Extra point by Weir. Very important. Down the middle. And Danny White, very creative, opting for the halfback pass, chancing it on 4th and 1. But it's what the doctor ordered. And there's the shot put. Randy Matson would have been proud of that one. Arizona up by 1.
Well, Hunky Cooper known not only for scoring touchdowns off returns, but also for catching them, but not throwing them. He takes this pitch. He acts like he knows what he's going to do with it. Good job of selling the run and just shot puts it right over top of Carlton Johnson, who left Randy Gatewood all alone. Guy that really hasn't done much tonight, but that was a big play. Maybe that'll get him started.
And very impressive. 8 plays, and look at the time elapsed, something you don't see very often in arena football. 5 minutes and 31 seconds. If you notice Randy Gatewood, as a receiver, I know that feeling. The ball seems like it's been in the air forever. He made absolutely sure that he was going to catch that ball. Weir with the kick. Maison plays it off the screen. Tough catch. Gets a block, cuts the outside, and he's got a blocker in front of him in Jamon Smith. He opts not to make a block. Good decision on the part of Jamon Smith. Great blocking by the Piranhas up front. He goes in completely untouched. And as you mentioned, Kurt, deja vu from the first game.
He did this. This is the way he ended it. We talked about that a little bit earlier. That's the way he ended game 1 between these two teams. Danny White mentioned to us yesterday he wants to kick away from Rodney Maison because of his ability to make the return. Puts his team, they're maybe a little bit down because of the quick score. He puts his team right back into this game, and not only into it, but now they have that lead back.
57-yard return for Maison, who literally silences this entire crowd. The momentum appeared to be the Rattlers, and once again, Halfield with a missed extra point. But a flag is down. My guess is we're looking at an illegal rush, but we'll see. A lot of Piranhas are clapping. So evidently there he's going to get another opportunity. Halfield leads the Arena League in field goals.
Defense, outside rush, 68, half the distance. We'll try the extra point over again.
But something that
you and I clock on this one.
Something that you and I have discussed ad nauseum is the fact that extra points are not automatic in this league.
No, we see, you see it week after week, and I think they may change things up here. They're going to actually go for 2. We'll see we talked about it after one score. I think Babe Pirelli says enough is enough.
Well, not only that, but I'm thinking if you've got Kevin Carroll back there, why not give him a shot to see if he can get a yard and a half? Jamon Smith in motion, and sure enough, that Carroll gets the ball, plows in. That's a gimme. That's an absolute gimme. Jamon Smith with the reverse motion, and he follows behind him as the lead blocker. And Kevin Carroll, once again, with the power behind the offensive line. Take a look at the return. Absolutely untouched. What great blocking. Good decision on the part of Jamon Smith not to touch him. Maison goes the distance. Momentum now is Anaheim's.
Kevin Carroll with the big conversion to put Anaheim up 7 points, but really the kickoff return by Rodney Maison gets some outstanding blocking up front. Now, this is his third touchdown of the year on return, so this is familiar territory for Rodney Maison. Anytime you get that kind of blocking with that kind of speed and quickness, Rodney Maison is very dangerous back there.
And one of the issues, too, we talk about the versatility of players in the Arena League. A lot of times you get people that aren't that used to special teams, and clearly the coverage on the part of the Rattlers was not good there. Cooper with the return, plays it off the screen. Good coverage. He breaks the tackle, cuts to the outside. But he's going to get down, going to be pulled down at about the 12-yard line by, among others, Carlton Johnson and Jamon Smith. We have a player down on the field. I believe that's Pulavati. And that could be a pretty big deal, Kurt, because Pulavati is their center. And you don't want your quarterback to come in with some strange hands, as you know very well.
See if he's going to be able to get up. Looks like an ankle possibly, but you're right. That's very important to be able to not only keep him on the defensive side of the ball, but more importantly, the offensive side. He looks like he's going to be okay.
That's certainly good news for Anaheim. Now, what does Kevin Carroll have to say to Wes Fritz? They're shaking.
He's just talking about that's not the end. That is not the end of what I'm going to do for you guys tonight. I think right now, even though it's early in the game, I look at Arizona and I think, you get the ball back here. Keep in mind Danny White's game plan. Go into the showers with a halftime lead. Get the ball back. Start of the second half. This is an important drive.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line. Schexnayder in motion right. Jamon Smith with the rush forces him out. Bonner's got Cooper deep. Touchdown. Amazing how quickly you can go from hero to GOAT. Rodney Maison evidently thought that Jamon Smith had Bonner sacked, eased up a little bit. Cooper got behind him. Bonner gets him the touchdown.
Hunky Cooper man coverage here. He has great quickness. They're going to come with a full-out blitz here, and once they pick that up, nice job of sliding over there. Bo Kelly picks it up, and that's an out-and-up cut by Hunky Cooper, who has good acceleration and quickness himself. You're talking about two extremely guys. The advantage goes to the offense there, and Cedric Bonner put that ball right on the money.
And one of the things that they always tell you as a young defensive back is to watch the man's eyes and don't look back before the throw. You saw at the throw, Maison had already looked back, and then he lost Hunky Cooper. Cooper able to make the fade a little bit and catch the touchdown. Wes Fritz instructing someone not to throw. Any articles as well as trying to persuade the defense not to make an illegal rush. Big extra point for Weir, and he gets it. So now just as suddenly it has appeared that Anaheim had shut the crowd up. They're able to get some noise here because Bonner is able to air this one out 38 yards to Hunky Cooper to the right corner of the end zone to knot it up at 21. Back-to-back lightning scores on the part of the Rattlers and Anaheim. First, we have the 57-yard return by that man, Maison, and then he turns around, gets beat on the 48-yarder by Hunky Cooper. Can we go for the turkey? Here it comes, the trifecta. We're going to get a third one here.
We'll see.
Maison.
Maison's waiting, hoping to get another chance here. We'll see if he can do anything with this kick.
Well, here's Weir's kick. It comes off the middle, and fortunately, I don't know, I would say fortunately in this case for the Rattlers, it is going to be a touchback. Anaheim will take it at the 5-yard line, and Weir has to be pretty proud of himself.
Both kickers are going to continue to try and put it down that very, very, very narrow target. This is going to be a game where who can stop who just once or twice throughout the entire game is going to win this football. You can just feel that already.
There you are. All right. Just right here. Let's go trips right, wing loop, 91 Liz. On one, ready?
Trips right, 91 Liz. Liz is the motion left, which in this case is going to be Jarrell. Molander with a three-step drop, gets him on the hook pattern. Good safe pattern on the part of Molander. Gives him an opportunity to get some confidence, shut the crowd down a little bit, and get the ball in Jarrell's hands where good things seem to happen.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, you pick up the momentum and the motion. And we mentioned this all evening long. You're going to see it on both sides. The defense will be soft. And especially when you're deep in your own territory, you're going to see the secondary lay off and might as well take advantage of it, pick up 9 or 10 yards with an easy curl route.
Well, that's 4 catches now for 41 yards for Jarrell, and they haven't really covered him yet. Second down, the ball comes to Carroll. He fumbles, and Jai Hill pays attention. What a great job on the part of Andrew Jai Hill because of the fact that the ball came out. It was a tactile thing. He felt it on his back, wheeled around, and able to make the recovery.
You know, he was kind of looking there, and all of a sudden, I think he felt something on his back. I don't know if he thought it was a player that was kind of messing with him or if he thought it was the football, but you know, once the ball is loose there, Jai Hill picks it up. He takes it up, gets a couple more yards there, but Kevin Carroll, big man, has got to hold on to that football as Richard Ash got his helmet on the ball, popped it loose, and look at Jai Hill fighting for it.
And Hunky Cooper was also in there on the strip. First and 10, just outside the 23. Jarrell in motion left. Molander with plenty of time. And wide open is Hill. And Hill takes that big body down to about the 8-yard line. And once again, Danny White cannot be very happy with the pass rush. Molander had at least 5 seconds to throw.
I don't care who you are in the secondary, and I don't care who you're covering. I don't know if there's anybody in the country that can cover the wide receiver for 5, 6, 7 seconds. That's backyard football. We always mention that, but you get that kind of time to drop back and throw, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. And Jai Hill's just waiting there. Nobody within 10 yards catches it, gets upfield.
You mentioned backyard football. It reminded me of the old days of backyard where they had to stay at the line of scrimmage and count 1,000, 1,000. They don't have to do it here. On the crossbuck is Carroll, but he is absolutely stuffed by Ash. But he runs through a couple of tackles and gets back to about the 5-yard line. Right there is an example to me, Kirk, of the inexperience of Carroll as a running back. Should have stayed inside.
Definitely should have stayed inside. And, you know, one thing that he's going to provide for you is just pure power. He's a versatile player. He's played in the interior line on both sides of the ball tonight at the linebacker spot at your MAC and also playing fullback. You can see Ash saying, geez, I should have had him, but it's very, very tough with one guy to bring down Kevin Carroll with his size and strength.
Babe Prilly trying to make some decisions as to what to do inside the red zone. Jarrell on the sweep, gets a good lead block, but Bo Kelly comes up to make the tackle down at about the 3-yard line. Now, Kirk, play coach for me for just a minute. Because of the fact that you believe that your front line is a little stronger, is this a 4-down situation where you continue to run and say, we challenge you to see if you can stop us with 2 runs and 3 yards?
My personal opinion, it definitely is. Not only the strength of the offensive line, you see Jarrell trying to find a crease in there, just lowers his shoulder, dives for a yard or 2. But you got to remember, they have an advantage at wide receiver. You have a couple guys at 6'5" and 6'6", where you're going up against some defensive backs at 5'9", 5'10". You put it up in the air, you see if you can make a catch.
That's what they're going to do with Jamon Smith. He makes the catch, but they say no. They say he's out of the end zone. Randy Gatewood with great coverage, doing exactly what you call Kirk. Jamon Smith, 6'6". They say he didn't come down with it.
It's no secret. This is what Anaheim really feels comfortable in doing inside that 5-yard line. It's a new trend we're seeing in the AFL. Putting the ball up, you see Jamon Smith is 6'6". How about Randy Gatewood? We talked about him at the beginning of the game. Look at that. It's a tough call. Really looked to me that Jamon Smith had his hands on the ball. Maybe just a question of whether or not he got his feet down.
I think this is a major victory for the Arizona Rattlers, even if Halfield does make the kick. But I have to question the play calling of Babe Pirilli. Kevin Carroll really hadn't been stopped. And Halfield misses the field goal. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 6 or 7 yard line. Costly on the part of Anaheim. Big turnover for the Rattlers.
Todd, I agree with you 100%. He's missed 2 extra points already. They went for 2 with Kevin Carroll. He lowers his shoulder. They pick up the 2-point conversion. He had a tough lane going there inside the 5. I agree with you 100%. You got to go for it in that situation.
Well, the snap was a little wide, but there's really no excuse for Halfield. And what's his hurry? He really has been rushing his kicks. He's got plenty of time because there really is no field goal rush. His confidence has to be at a low ebb right now. Big turnover for the Arizona Rattlers, and I just don't understand Babe in this instance not giving Carroll the ball twice. See if he can get 3 yards in 2 attempts, and if he can't, then you give your hats off to the Arizona defense.
You can see it's affected Anaheim because now they're arguing with each other. They're calling a timeout to try and regroup. This could be a turning point in the ballgame. We'll see if Arizona can take advantage of it.
When we come back, Arizona's going to have the ball with the first defensive stop of the game. Ian Howfield doing a little soul-searching at this point. 2 missed extra points, and, of course, that short field goal. Be sure to join us next Saturday on ESPN2 for more arena football action as the Anaheim Piranhas take on the Iowa Barnstormers at 8 o'clock Eastern from the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Iowa, otherwise known as the Barn. And you and I were there last week, and that place rocks.
That is one of the best venues in the entire league. You got to love to get in there. The Barnyard, I mean, the people get excited about it. They're 100% behind their ball club, and Anaheim a good opponent for them next week.
Iowa's playing some very good football. They won last night. They won 5 of their last 6. 2-way tie for first place. Cooper in motion, wide open, but Bonner wants the deep ball. Checks there. Does he come up with it? He does! What a catch!
Wanted to see Calvin Schexnayder and Cedric Bonner get into sync. They've hit a couple smaller and shorter passes, and he has all night. That's what made this play. He had all night to throw the football. He throws it the length of the field. And how about the catch by little number 8, Calvin Schexnayder? Their offensive specialist makes a heck of a grab there for the 44-yard touchdown.
We're on for the extra point, and that's good. Bonner's last 2 throws, 2 touchdowns. The man is hot. They're up 28-21.
How do you keep track of everything that happens in the world of motor racing? You drive with us. RPM tonight, the ultimate wrap-up of the day that was in the world of motor racing. Monday through Friday at 7 and Sunday at 8, only on ESPN2.
Arizona coming back in a big way here. They go to just a nice job here. Watch Bonner, and I want you to see the protection. He sits back there, even with the blitz. He has all night to throw this football, and that's really what made it. I'll tell you what's interesting. The crowd is getting into the game here. Arizona team that's played on the road in quiet atmospheres. He had 2,000, he had 8,000 at one of their ball games. Just very, very tough for their team to get emotionally up. They come back into their own place. They got 28 points on the board. They're up 7. Crowds in the game. This game right now is going perfectly for Danny White and the Arizona Rattlers.
And for Cedric Bonner, as you saw the numbers there, 9 for 10, and he's hit on his last 8 straight. Maison gets a clean catch, and where's the coverage? He cuts to the outside, and oh, is he hit? Joe Birch with the stick.
75, Joe Birch.
Stay tuned Sunday for final round coverage of the Senior PGA Tour. The Bell Atlantic Classic from Chester Valley Golf Club in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
Big Joe Birch coming down. Big guys covering kicks, and you got to love to see that.
Jarrell in motion right. Molander goes underneath the Burchett. He cuts back against the grain, gets a block, but it's going to be out of bounds. Remember, Burchett was the one earlier who had the catch. Looks like he had a lot of room to run and sat down. In this case, he wanted to get a few more yards.
And this is very tough atmosphere right now for Scooter Merlander to deal with. The momentum right now is starting to shift to Arizona. Very important to get a nice drive. And you got to remember, I know there's walls close to being out of bounds, but the walls are not out of bounds. The white line is out of bounds. They picks up 9 yards.
Yeah, but if you're Burchett, you don't hear the whistle. You're going to keep running, right? If you can get a cheap touchdown, why not? 2nd and 1.
Go!
Darren Williams underneath gets absolutely nothing. So at least from this vantage point, it looks like he's going to be a little bit short of the first down. Kevin Carroll getting a breather.
The big fella needing a breather. He's been playing on both sides of the ball. They're going to get Williams in there to see if he can.
Well, evidently I was wrong. They did get the first down. Here we are in America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, with our Arena Football Game of the Week between Anaheim and Arizona. I'm Todd Christensen, along with Kirk Herbstreit. And now, if you like to use the tennis metaphor, they lost one serve. Now they've got to get it back.
You're really getting that feeling in this game. Yeah, I mean, it is that way. And we knew that coming into this game, that the offense was going to be the highlight for both teams.
Burchett in motion left. Molander with plenty of time across the middle. Gets the ball to Jarrell, who can't quite break the tackle. Nathan LeDuc is able to bring him down. Otherwise, Jarrell gets in the end zone. And that points out something that you said earlier. Jarrell has the hands, but at 6 foot 185, not necessarily as nifty as some of the other offensive specialists we've seen.
And that's why you're going to see Arizona throughout this game have a little bit more bump coverage, because they don't really feel that there's that burner on Anaheim. Jarrell's probably their fastest guy out at wide receiver, and he's not a blazer. You're going to see Arizona really get in the face of their wide receivers because of that.
Jarrell in short motion left with the short hook, makes the catch and is down at about the 4-yard line. I'm interested, Kirk, what do you think with regards to earlier, Jamon Smith not coming up with that ball? Is that going to deter Bay Pirelli from throwing that pass? It's going to hurt the confidence of Molander?
No, I don't think so. I think the execution was there. I think he put the ball right into the hands of Smith. Smith made the catch. It appeared he must not have gotten the feet down, but I don't think that'll change at all. I think they're going to continue. They may try and bang it in here on 2nd down, but I think they'll still try and throw it up in the air.
2nd and 4. Get the ball to Williams.
Hey, you're going to have to.
Absolutely stuffed by Henry Milton.
If anything else, it moves them back a little bit further, gives them a little bit more room to work with. He comes right through there and makes a nice play, a nice gang tackle there, but Johnson is really one of the strongest men you're going to find in the secondary. He is put together.
Bay Pirelli has to be careful. He's getting a little bit predictable inside the 10-yard line. 3rd and 6, Jarrell in motion left. Now he comes back right. Molander with plenty of time, wide open in the end zone is Burchett, but he can't come up with it. And that's one that you know that Molander wants back. Burchett wide open.
It's really one of these where Burchett is so open that you try and aim it. And it looks like Molander, he has his eyes on him all the way, just really tries to put it over the defender a little bit too much. Burchett, boy, that would have been a tough catch if he could bring that down.
And you could see that LeDuc had a handful of jersey, but still, Molander has to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer. That was a very easy completion. I'm sure that's one he wishes he had back. Now a 23-yard attempt by Halfield, who up to this point has struggled, and the crowd knows it. And once again, he ricochets off the crossbar. Milton recovers it, and Halfield is the unhappiest guy in the arena.
That is 2 big defensive stops for Arizona. That really could be the difference in the ball game. They allowed him inside the 5-yard line twice and stopped him. I think it's just a matter of Halfield now has gotten to the point where he's just out of rhythm. We talk about quarterbacks being out of rhythm. You know, whether you're a golfer, you're a kicker, I don't care what you're doing. Anytime there's a skill or an art, you can see he is very, very disappointed. He's trying too hard.
Well, you know what? You mentioned golf, the golf stroke. I think that's very apt where a kicker is concerned, because there you saw a foot to the right and it's good. It's not as if he shanked that one like he did the last one. He hit it fine. But don't forget, in the Arena League, you've only got 9 feet that you can get that ball in. If it would have been 10, it would have been good. Bonner got down to the play clock in 1 second and calls the timeout so they don't have to take the penalty. And now the onus is on the Anaheim defense. Are you ready for more? 400 world-class athletes compete for more than $300,000 on prize money. The X Games on ESPN and ESPN2 begin Monday, where the best in extreme competition compete in 9 different categories. That's from Rhode Island, June 24th through the 30th. Some exciting stuff coming up for you on the Deuce.
All the wrestlers for tickets at 514-TV.
And ESPN as well. Danny White, he's looking like a genius right now.
You want to go 50?
At 7.
They're just playing man. All right.
You heard him say they're playing man. They're taking advantage of that man-to-man coverage.
Listen up. Let's go. Right trip. Right trip. Get down, Rob. Right trip. Wing loop. Rocket 10. All right, on one-on-one. Ready?
Squat, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, the last 2 plays, you've seen them beaten badly for deep balls. That wouldn't surprise me at all, maybe to see him go underneath. Maybe some kind of throw route 5 to 10 here.
Cooper in motion right. He gets the ball out, missed tackle. Back to the middle of the field, and he can't quite maintain his balance. They're going to say he's down at the 22-yard line. Good call by the official. And really the secondary that you talked about earlier is playing so well, really struggling now.
Struggling, and as the huddle break, we talked about a chance for them to come underneath, and the reason, now they're really going to be stretched because they've been beaten so badly. Bridges has to do a better job of breaking down and make a tackle, and I understand Cooper has great ability. Hunky Cooper is really in a groove right now, and I'll tell you, Arizona's in a position where they're hitting the short stuff, they're hitting the deep stuff, and I think a lot of it is attributed to the great protection they're giving Cedric Bonner. The fact that Bonner is really on top of his game tonight.
I was going to say, Bonner could be blindfolded at this point and find receivers. He is absolutely hot. You saw the graphic up earlier. Anaheim, the top scoring defense in Arena League, averaging only giving up 28 points. They have already
We're there.
up
We're there.
the 28 points here in the first half, and clearly they're back on their heels. They are just, their confidence is shaken.
You got to keep in mind as well that they've done a nice job of pressuring quarterbacks. They lead the league with 18 sacks, and they are not getting close to Bonner. And when they do, I'll tell you, Bonner's done a nice job of just sliding over, buying a little bit more time, and then finding the open man.
Bear with me, maybe this is a bit of a reach. The 2 offside penalties in the first series, could that have affected the rush?
Could be. Good job with his cadence.
Schexnayder in motion left. Bonner gets the ball to him. He cuts back against the grain. Now cuts back again. Bridges on the tackle, but not before he gets the first down at the 10-yard line. And here is an interesting decision that Danny White is going to have. You talked with him about the idea that you don't want to score too quick. 53 seconds left. I would anticipate here a running play.
It could be a running play, or he's going to milk the clock. See if Bonner will milk this play clock and let it go down. Right now, this defensive secondary is in a position where they are at the mercy of Arizona in the play calling.
And just as I say that, he fades back. Throws the ball to Milton, incomplete. And I was surprised at that too, because not only the throw, but the situation where he had at least 12 seconds left on the play clock. Were you surprised he didn't milk it?
Yeah, and I don't know the thinking right now as far as Danny White is concerned. Maybe he just is looking at the fact that having a chance to get up 14 points is more important than the clock. But you got to remember, in this game, it takes 10, 15 seconds to get the ball back, and you have a chance to get points on the board. But this really could be a lift for the team if they can get a touchdown.
But I'm thinking that with a running play in that situation, that takes off, what, at least 20-some seconds. Now 35 seconds and the clock stops, 2nd and goal. You see the play clock running down. Gets the ball out to Cooper at the 5-yard line. He's pushed out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 30 seconds left.
Force held by number 1.
The thing about Arizona right now, they're being very careful because they only have 1 timeout, and that also might have come into play as far as the play calling.
Stay with us at halftime. Get a chance to look at the first half highlights around the league. Unbelievable yesterday. The Albany Firebirds, 88 points to set a league record for points in the game. We'll give you all the numbers regarding that particular game, and we'll give you a chance to listen firsthand to what's happening in the respective locker rooms. All coming up at half. 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line. Schexnayder in motion right. Bonner, all the time in the world, gets the ball to Hunky Cooper underneath. Now, want to say that I told you so yesterday, but one of the things that you and I discussed was the idea that you take the two wideouts, let them run, give your offensive specialists the entire field. That seemed to be what they did.
Yeah, that's the exact. You must have talked with Danny prior to the game. I mean, they cleared out, and you allow your great player, Hunky Cooper, who loves to find the open space over the middle, to do that very thing. Good protection. Bonner and Cooper are really in sync right now. Puts the ball right on the money. Right as he's turning, the ball is delivered. Nothing you can do as a defender to stop that.
We're on for the extra point, and just offhand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the last time we saw any pass rush of significance was that middle linebacker rush by Jamon Smith, and that had to be at least about 20 minutes ago. Bonner has been completely clean since then.
Yeah, they have not been able to get it's more than anything. It's a nice job by the offensive line, but they're doing a good job with the play calling. They're throwing the deep ball. They're throwing the underneath stuff. And at this point, Anaheim is guessing. And when you get the defense guessing, as I said a little bit earlier, the defense is at the mercy of Arizona. Arizona can do anything they want.
Well, there's right now. Bonner just can't. Once again,
when you get protection, you get a clear out. It's just pitch and catch. I mean, it's essential for the execution to come through when you're in a groove like this. Hunky Cooper had all the room to work with. As you pointed out this morning at breakfast, you drew it up.
Thank you.
You said clear them out with the outside. Take advantage of that offensive specialist, and that's exactly what they did there with the hunkster, Hunky Cooper.
Nothing like having a broadcast partner that makes you feel brilliant. We're on to kick, and of course the big issue here with 26 seconds left. Did the Rattlers score too soon? That remains to be seen. Maison, who has already returned to kick off 57 yards for a touchdown, awaits. And it comes off the right, and Maison isn't able to get it. Bridges instead. And you know what? He had some opening, but wasn't exactly sure what to do. Doesn't have the same speed as Maison. It looks like he actually ran into Henry Milton instead of away from him. It looked to me like he had some pretty good block.
He looked somewhat surprised that the ball came off. We mentioned the nets are really tight here. That's one way to keep the ball away from Maison. Just hit a line drive off those nets, and you can see it clears Maison. He comes out. Bridges comes out. Right there, it looked like he had a chance to break it, and Henry Milton just waiting there and makes the play.
Well, he had to go right up the middle, and all he had to beat was Terry Boyd, the 280-pounder. Instead, he opts to go against the fast guys. Didn't make any sense. Molander goes deep on the deep crossing to Jamon Smith, who makes the catch down at the 3. He is touched down at the 2. Molander, what a throw. Right on the money to the 6'6" Jamon Smith, who goes on the deep crossing route, gets inside the 5, now with 13 seconds remaining.
He simply went to the corner there. I don't know if that was broken coverage. Scooter Molander, as he drops back, he looks back and he sees Jamon Smith is coming all alone. I tell you, with less than 20 seconds, that is very, very poor coverage by the Arizona Rattlers. This is where Arizona's got to crank it up.
First and goal, Terrell in motion right. Pitch out to Carroll, who goes wide and runs right through Ash. Once again, it's the second time where Ash has a clear shot at Carroll. Carroll runs right through him, and I got to tell you something. I am really impressed with Carroll as a fullback.
Kevin Carroll, we talked about him in the opening. Not only did he get to the sack, but he played the ball. He's an outstanding fullback. Great power. This is the second time tonight. He goes right over Richard Ash and just gets into the end zone, and he is getting familiar with this end zone dance. And you got to remember, we talked about whether or not Danny White scored too early. It looks like he may have.
Well, Howfield able to come up with the extra point, and Carroll now 4 rushes, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has been arguably the most effective offensive weapon for the Anaheim Piranhas, and the answer to the question, yes, Arizona did score too soon.
Well, they had the clock running there. We were talking about possibly milking the clock. Not so much having to continue to run just to eat some clock. They already had the clock moving. Once Cooper went out of bounds, they had an incomplete pass that killed it. Then Cooper goes out of bounds. Their hands were tied at that point as far as killing the clock. You got to love the look of Kevin Carroll when he gets a sweep. Now you got to look at Ash. I mean, Ash he's a big guy himself. He goes over Ash and Kelly and powers himself into the end zone. I mentioned the dance. He's got to work on that a little bit. He's getting accustomed to getting in there, but he's got to get some moves in the end zone. That's his, 5th touchdown of the year.
And that's got to be some of the fastest and quickest 272 pounds I've seen. I mean, he can really move. If you were paying attention to the monitor earlier and you saw Danny White go like this with his arms, make sure you catch the ball. Not only is he concerned about possession, but the opportunity to give Weir a chance maybe to kick a field goal. Playing it off the screen is Milton, and he's going to be tackled at the 2-yard line with 6 seconds left.
Johnson and 75, Robert Kenny.
Now, it would surprise me to see Anaheim in any kind of man-to-man coverage, and if they are, they should be back. Arizona's done a nice job taking advantage of the man-to-man coverage, but that's one thing that you shouldn't see here with 6 seconds left. Maybe they still have one timeout. Maybe you hit about a 15, 20-yard curl and get a timeout.
Take a look at the monitor. You can see that's about as good as it gets. Now, I'm curious here if they have time to throw a quick pass in 6 seconds, get out of bounds, and set up a field goal. Do they have time or not?
I think they do. Also have a timeout left.
Well, that's going to negate it. Ball is batted down by Lorenzo Reed, and now with 3 seconds left, they'll either try the long field goal or throw it in the end zone.
Keep in mind, Danny White's goal going in the half, just to be tied. He's up 7 right now, taking a chance to, he's going to bring in the kicker here to maybe get up by 10. Now he's telling them, yeah, he is going to bring it in.
Well, I think this does a lot for, even if the kid doesn't make the kick, it gives him a chance to say that Danny White tells him, hey, I've got a little confidence in you, let's give it a shot. You mentioned the 7-point lead at halftime. Big issue now that comes back. Arizona had the option. They deferred to the second half. Not only do they have the 7-point lead, they're going to get the ball coming out.
Yeah, that was his point. He said if he wins the toss, he will defer because of this game and the capabilities of it being an offensive shootout. He wants the ball to start the second half, and his goal was to get into the showers at half, just simply being tied, and his strategy has worked.
I want to go 56 X post. Wing out, takeoff, okay?
Well, let me say the reason I'm chuckling is because this is, you mentioned schoolyard. That's what it is here. He hesitated. Wing, whatever. He's making it up.
Wing,
now,
swing.
Here,
go on two.
Here's an interesting call. You're going to see Hunky Cooper on a wing swing, which is going to be basically a chair route down the sideline, and also number 8, Calvin Schexnayder, going to the post. You see him in motion. He will be going to the post. He has 2 receivers here.
Flags go down. You know, as best I could tell, it appeared to me that Anaheim was in man coverage, which I don't understand. With 3 seconds left, why aren't the 3 defensive backs basically sitting at midfield, trying to play center field, get an interception?
75 defense, 3-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Go right wing loop and then go X back. Hurry. Listen up. X back.
Hunky taking a little rest here.
He deserves
Henry
it.
Milton, yeah, he's done enough for a 1/2. Henry Milton is checked in.
Hey, when he stops, you go.
Had a strip for a fumble, threw a touchdown pass, caught a couple. There's Milton in motion. Now Schexnayder goes in motion. Fades back. Careful. Terrible throw. He's got a chance to go. Very fortunate. He fumbles the ball. It's recovered. What's the call going to be? Was he down? The official, Wes Fritz, is going to throw it and say that he was down at the 6-yard line. Of all the things that we were saying about Cedric Bonner.
It is returned to the 5-yard line. The man fumbled. We're in the last minute of the play. It's a 4th down fumble. The ball's dead. It's a fumble. That's the half.
Cedric Bonner got a break after all the good decisions he had made. He makes an egregious one there that almost came back to haunt him.
Yeah, and he's realizing there was no time left. You could see that he wants that ball back. He should have just simply thrown this as far as he could, but he really made a mistake there, and he's fortunate that Anthony Bridges did not get into the end zone.
And give Anthony Bridges some credit because he knew that the half was over and he fumbled that one forward. It was worth taking a shot, but Wes Fritz, the official, was all over it. An exciting first half, 35-28, as we break here in the midway of this exciting arena football game of the week. Total yards really to me is a surprise because it seemed to me as if the Rattlers were on the field forever, and yet there it is, total yards are even.
Yeah, the stats really aren't going to show the difference in this game, Todd. I think the difference is that once Anaheim has gotten inside the red zone, that Arizona's defense has really stepped up their performance. And the one surprise, I guess, would probably be Anaheim's been able to run the football 30 yards, and most of that by the big fella, Kevin Carroll. But again, we'll see in the second half if Arizona defensively will continue with their same style. They have had a lot of success, and that could be the difference in the entire football game.
Well, that man right there is looking like he's got about a 180 IQ. I mean, it's just amazing some of the play calling that he has done. The fourth down halfback pass, the 2 long passes, catching Anaheim in the man coverage. He has just pushed all the right buttons here in the first half. And now Arizona returns. Cooper takes it off the net. Cuts to the middle. Pretty good coverage on the part of Anaheim. And he's dumped at the 6-yard line by Bridges.
Very important for Anaheim to really come out here and set the tone. They got the big touchdown at the end of the half. They need to use that momentum because I'll tell you, this is going to be important. That defensively, they came into this game with a lot of success and a lot of confidence, and they have not shown that at all in the first half. Very important for them to start off here in the second half, maybe mixing it up a little bit different.
Zach Ricks is down, limping off the field. A point that you made earlier at the very beginning. Anaheim leads the Arena League in sacks with 18. The league record is 30. They're on a pace to break that. I don't think it's just a matter of getting sacks here. I think they need to get some pressure. Whether it's sacks, it doesn't matter, but they've got to get somebody in Bonner's face because clearly in the second quarter they had no pressure.
Just to affect him somewhat, get him out of his groove, and if it's not necessarily sacks, but just pressure to get him out of it.
1st and 10 just outside the 5. Bonner gets the ball out to Cooper, and it goes through his hands. Pretty good coverage on the part of Anthony Bridges.
Looks like Lorenzo Reed is listening to what we're saying. He actually came in there. First play of the second half, a good sign for Anaheim. See Cooper, the ball is still thrown on time and accurate. Cooper'd like to make that catch, but what you didn't see there is Lorenzo Reed slipped through and dove, even though it was a quick 3-step drop, dove and got into the feet of Cedric Bonner.
But what you did see is you did see a peek on the part of Hunky Cooper before he got the ball. He didn't concentrate. 2nd and 10 just outside the 5-yard line. Schexnayder in motion right. Good call with the screen pass because of the rush, but Bo Kelly couldn't come up with it. Jamon Smith, the Gill linebacker, has him in coverage. As soon as he rushes, Kelly sneaks out, but he couldn't hold on.
Danny White mentioned that to us yesterday. Once they start to apply pressure, that they will go to the quick screen. It's going to do a number of things, and the most important is it's going to stop them with a good pass rush. You look at these numbers right now. Cedric Bonner is on fire. He threw the interception at the end of the half, which was a mental mistake, but 13 and 19 for 180 yards is not too shabby for a half.
Now, you remember in the first quarter they had 3rd and 14. I'll be anxious to see what Anaheim does in coverage here. Once again, the deep hook route to Gatewood, and he beats Maison. Cuts inside. Does he get it in? It appears he's going to be just a little bit short. But Gatewood with the same route, the deep hook route. Maison had him in man coverage. Missed tackle.
You know, Babe Pirelli, I don't know if he can, I don't know if it's necessarily the defensive coverage that he's calling, because if he sticks back, they end up beating you on a curl like this, and Gatewood takes this. Maison comes up with a bad angle. Gatewood shows that he has the speed. Jamon Smith brings him down. Randy Gatewood has great instincts, and that's what really separates him, and that's why he has come on here as this season has progressed.
Well, at the top of the show, you said that he was the key to the success of this team, and that was another big 3rd down catch. Arizona now 3 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, but those 2 big 3rd and longs have been absolutely crucial. Evidently, he stepped out of bounds at the 5, and now they give the ball to Bo Kelly up the middle, but nothing doing. Tackle made in the middle of the line by another fullback, Kevin Carroll.
I would think that with the success of the throwing game, even though Arizona wants to try and run down in here, I would think that we may see something very similar where you spread out everybody, try and get that one-on-one coverage with one of your quick little men like Hunky Cooper because of the space, especially off to the right of the screen, because there's so much room to work there for Hunky Cooper.
Don't forget that in the first series, their touchdown was a 3-yard sweep to Bo Kelly. They're going to try the right side. Kelly gets a block. Shows some power. Does he get in? They say yes.
3 yards.
It appeared that Lorenzo Reed had him stopped at the 1-yard line, but I think what the official said is that he rolled over the top of the body, not the ground. Thus, that's why he gave him the score.
We'll have to see this on the replay. Kelly takes the pitch, And when he gets to the outside, Ash, nice job on Reed. Reed's there to make the play. And, oh, my gosh, that is a tough call because, as you mentioned, he came down on top of Reed.
I think it was a good call. I think it was a touchdown. Kelly's second. 4 rushes now for 11 yards for Bo Kelly. Trey Weir on for the extra point, and it's good. And just as we were talking about the fact that Kelly did it the first time, now he does it again. A lot of it on his own as he's able to break tackles, get in the end zone, get his team up. Todd Christensen along with Kurt Herbstreit here at the America West Arena in Phoenix. The crowd very much into this game. Once again, you see a scoring drive, Kurt, where a lot of time went off the clock.
Doing a nice job nickel and diming and moving right down the field. Of course, once they get inside the 5-yard line, they continue to show the ability to punch it in there, and that's the difference as of right now. Arizona's putting the ball in the end zone, and Anaheim is not.
Onside kick. It's an onside kick, and they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Gutsy called him a part of Danny White. Up 2 touchdowns to give this a try. This is what's known as the suicide onside, where the kicker does it on his own as opposed to going to the side. Boy, I tell you what, guts of a burglar on the part of Danny White. Babe Perilli wants a timeout to talk it over.
Boy, what an incredible call there. Danny White trying to hold back somewhat of a smirk there. This is an incredible kick by Weir. And watch Gatewood waiting. He just kind of blocks off, sheds off all of the Anaheim players, and Hunky Cooper gets down to the bottom of that to recover the fumble.
Well, while Babe Perilli is going to beef with the official, that man, once again, his IQ points continue to go up. Babe Perilli not terribly happy with what transpired. We'll get a chance to take a look at it. Was it touched too soon?
I think that's what Babe Perilli is upset about. Let's see if it goes to 10 yards. You can see Gatewood waiting there. He has not touched it. He's across the 10-yard mark, and that ball was not touched. I think he was just simply trying to... The ball's loose at this point. Cooper, nice presence of mind to get in there, but I don't think he has a beef there. That ball went about 12 yards until Gatewood touched it.
The debate would be on that first bounce. It looked like it possibly could have grazed his shoulder, but when it did, he was at the 10-yard line. So I think the officials were right. Bonner now cuts out to Cooper. And Lorenzo Reed absolutely hammers Bonner, but the flag came down, and I'm not sure that was a legal rush.
Could have had the Will linebacker sliding out there, too.
That's what it is, an illegal defense, and certainly they'll take that penalty.
And Jamon Smith sliding to the outside, trying to bat the ball down using his big size at 6'6". One thing Anaheim is doing is getting pressure. That's the second time this half Reed has gotten in there. But to no, really, you look at Jamon Smith just sliding out, so no good.
What you saw there, number 6, you saw is supposed to rush over the tight end. Then when he cuts to the outside and goes beyond the tight end, as Kirk pointed out, that's illegal. So they'll have first and 10 at the 20-yard line. Jamon Smith has played an outstanding football game on both sides. Made the big catch at the end of the first half and showed some remarkable speed catching Gatewood after he broke him a tackle by Maison. One of the real Iron Men here in arena football. First and 10 at the 20. Bonner with the pump fake. Once again with the sideline throw. Nice hit on the part of Carlton Johnson. Are they going to give him the catch? They are, and they're going to call it a fumble out of the 25-yard line. Carlton Johnson, look at the arms on him. There's somebody that's going to hit you.
Carlton Johnson, we mentioned his great covering ability, but he has a combination of a safety. He'll come up and knock your lights out. 5'10", 195 pounds. That ball is loose, and tell you what, Arizona lucky that ball went out of bounds and into the boards.
Knocked out the ball and the mouthpiece, but I'm sure he wishes that he could have rolled back and seen where the ball was, because that could have been a big turnover for the Piranhas. 2nd and 5 now at midfield. Schexnayder in motion right. Pitch to Kelly going right. Once again, he takes on Carlton Johnson with the big hit, but in fairness to him, I think that he got the worst of that when Kelly ran over him.
I mean, he is coming in there, putting his nose in there. You got to remember, Kelly's at a full steam, 6'1", 230 pounds. Look at the size of Carlton Johnson. He is not afraid. Bo Kelly picking up some good speed here. Smith comes over, but it's Carlton Johnson again stopping him short of a first down and bringing up a third and a very, very short.
He may have got the short end of this physically, but you can't question his courage. 3rd and 1. Kelly gets the ball, cuts to the outside, and has some room. Maison makes the tackle, but not before he gets the first down at the 16-yard line. And one of the happiest people right now isn't necessarily Bo Kelly, but I think it's Danny White, because he's got to be pleased with the fact that he knows that this team can run the ball, not something they've been terribly effective with prior to this game.
Well, they're running the football here on this drive extremely well, and also when he calls his pass plays, he feels very confident that he's going to get some protection for his quarterback. His quarterback is in pretty good rhythm with all 3 of the wide receivers, and it makes the play calling very, very simple when it's in that particular case.
Schexnayder in motion right. 1st and 10 at the 16. Bonner with the screen pass out to Kelly, who'll cut back to the middle of the field, and it's going to go in for the touchdown. I know we keep saying the same thing, but Danny White seems to be making all the right calls, but a flag is down. Holding against the Rattlers, going to bring it back.
Play is well designed here. Bonner drops back, dumps it down to Kelly. He's going to pick some blocks up downfield. You see Richard Ash actually got up underneath the shoulder pads and locked up, and that's exactly who they're going to go with.
After the completion, we have a holding. 69. Half the distance. It'll remain first down.
And how many times does the guy say, no way, no way?
Especially on a touchdown. You can see Ash right there. You can see him getting into Jamon Smith's in his shoulder pads. He's locked up to the top left hand of your screen. And when that happens, really on a touchdown, that really hurts. You can see his facial expression. He's not very happy with himself.
Well, the thing that's frustrating about it, if you're a Rattler fan, is that, hey, don't even bother with the block. It's not as if the guy was going to make the play anyway. Schexnayder in motion on 1st and 13. Bonner throws underneath. Bridges almost with the pick, and for the first time in quite a while, Bonner had some pressure.
They've been getting pressure on him here this entire second half.
Sunday baseball coming your way on ESPN. Eric Davis, what a great comeback story for the Cincinnati Reds. I still don't like his hands down in the batting. It's just a personal thing, but I don't like it. But he's doing it. He's doing it.
That's right.
But Todd Hundley doing some outstanding job, both offensively and defensively for the New York Mets. Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And if you have to have seen Ray Ordonez at shortstop for the Mets, whoo, something special.
Hate to say he's the next Ozzie Smith. You don't want to put that kind of label on him. Todd Hundley already with 20 home runs.
I'm telling you, having a great season. Schexnayder in motion, 2nd and 13. Bonner out in the flat to Cooper, who turns around and decides to lower his head and get down to about the 11-yard line. That's a good play on the part of Cooper as opposed to dancing around and trying to go for the big play, because now they can come up with a very makeable 3rd and 5.
Yeah, they get inside here. The one thing that I think is good for Arizona is they're moving the ball here, but getting the football into Hunky Cooper's hands where he has some space, some room to run. That's where he's effective.
Let's hear what the call is.
Wax right. Wax left, X loop, laser. No, wax right, X loop, laser. 50, screen middle of tight end on 101. Ready?
You heard it. The screen to the tight end. A lot of motion calls, but they're going to try and get the ball. Going to call a timeout.
Going to give Richard, they're just about to give Richard Ash a chance to make up for his holding penalty, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'll be back in a second.
Well, while we wait for that, we'll go away. Richard Ash may get his chance when we return. He may not.
You can advertise on television. It's proven.
The timeout gave Danny White a chance to debate what it is he wanted to do, and we're still not sure as to whether or not they're going to stay with the screen pass or not, but
oh, you're killing me.
Terrible impersonation, I realize. There's Mr. Bill as the down marker. Or if you're a Jack in the Box fan, then it's Jack. Reminded me of the old Saturday Night Lives. 3rd and 4.
They have switched tight ends. Now we'll see if that tight end screen has still been set up.
Oh, Ash can't be very happy about that. Schexnayder in motion right. That's not what the play was. They go to Cooper. What a catch. He did not get into the end zone, but he got to the 1-yard line. Well, I tell you what, that's when you know you're hot as a quarterback. Slides out, has the pressure, goes with the sidearm, able to wedge it in.
He's really in sync tonight, and that's something Danny wanted to see out of him. He's feeling the pressure this half, but he still has the accuracy. And when you have that, you're really going to be in a good position. Now it's time to punch it in again with Kelly, because he has done it twice already tonight. Look for the same thing.
And how frustrated do you have to be as a defensive back? That was very good coverage. I mean, he was right with him stride for stride. Bonner put it in the only spot where Cooper could have got it. Schexnayder in motion. Bo Kelly have a shot at his 3rd touchdown. And he gets it. Breaks the tackle of Jamon Smith in the backfield and romps in for the touchdown.
Arizona is just flat out playing physical football. You know, on both sides, that's how they're winning this game. Look at it. I mean, look at Kelly just truck Jamon Smith into the end zone. He will not be denied. 3rd touchdown of the night.
7 carries for 20 yards. And, I mean, that's a free shot for Jamon Smith. Give Kelly credit for his balance, able to shuck him off and go in for the touchdown. We're on for the extra point now. And he misses this one. But at this point, it doesn't look too crucial. Bo Kelly with his 3rd touchdown run, able to earn it as he runs through the tackle of Jamon Smith. His team now up by 20. Pretty much a consensus in the Arena League that the Tampa Bay Storm are the best team, undefeated 16 straight games. But I got to tell you, Kirk, after watching this Arizona Rattler team, I think not only do they give a run for the money, but I think they've got a good chance of defeating Tampa if they match up later on.
Well, with Cedric Bonner on like this, that's really what would keep them in there with Tampa Bay, right? You know, every facet of their game offensively is working. They've had some big stops defensively. Keep in mind, this Anaheim team didn't play all that well and had Tampa Bay really in a good football game. And yet here we are into the 3rd quarter, well into the 3rd quarter, and Arizona is playing probably as perfectly as they could have hoped for.
Danny White has to be extremely happy. He was concerned over the lack of motivation the last 3 weeks. Clearly not a problem this evening. Maison is not going to get this one. Great kick by Weir. Touchback at the 5-yard line. Nothing seems to be going the way of Anaheim right now.
Anaheim has to be careful here. Even though they're down 20 points, keep in mind how quick you can score. As you see the scoring drive there, look at that, 29 yards, 4 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. That is very, very important as we get late into the ball game. But Anaheim, important in my mind for them to try and keep that attitude that, hey, this game is not over.
The work is cut out for Babe Perilli now, and his protege Scooter Molander and the Anaheim Piranhas. Burchett in motion right. Molander with a 5-step drop gets the ball out to Jarrell, who gets the 1st down out at the 18-yard line.
Like to see that getting back to the game plan. Arizona with the soft coverage. Go to the man that you feel is your go-to guy in Jarrell. Nice, simple outcut, 1st down. Good way to move the sticks, get a little rhythm going themselves. We've seen a lot of it from Arizona. It's about time Anaheim gets some of that themselves.
Jarrell has about 5 or 6 catches, but they've been pretty nondescript. 1st and 10 at the 17. Molander out to Andrew Jai Hill, who breaks the tackle, gets down to about the 20-yard line.
What do you want? Trips, 91. Huddle up right here.
If the secondary is going to give you 8 to 10 yards off of the wide receiver, you might as well take advantage of pitch and catch. And that's right now Anaheim first 2 plays. They've moved already across midfield. They're just simply moving the ball because they're taking what the defense is giving them.
But then again, the Rattlers up 3 touchdowns can afford the luxury of that. What they want to prevent is the quick score. 1st and 10 at the 20. Jarrell in motion. Molander gets him the ball on the outcut at about the 10-yard line. Can't quite see whether or not he has the 1st down, but he's pretty close. But the clock continues to run, and now the clock is the enemy of the Anaheim Piranha.
Sure, the clock's the enemy here, and Anaheim is hoping to try and get a quick score. Arizona trying to stop them. Here you can see, again, they're going to try and just simply go underneath the coverage, falling into what Arizona wants to do, as you mentioned, Todd. But I think for Anaheim, even though that this is what Arizona wants them to do, they're looking for anything to get them going offensively, and maybe by hitting that, that'll get them maybe the jump start they need.
Williams on the trap play is going to go in. Oh, man. That's too bad. Well-contrived play on the part of the Anaheim Piranhas, and I thought it interesting when he came back to the huddle. He was upset that they didn't give him the touchdown, but you heard Molander say, one more, one more.
Boy, they gave one to Arizona a little bit earlier tonight. Yeah, that is a good call. If he would have reached out there and got the ball to break the plane, it's a touchdown, but that ball did not break the plane before he went down.
Yeah, you're right, but come on, give the big guy.
He had to reach.
He hasn't had that many opportunities.
I know.
But you heard Scooter Molander say, one more, so he'll get another shot at it. And he's in.
Wait a minute, there it is.
Well, the crowd boos, but I think the point that you had is well taken. Anaheim, whether it took time off the clock or not, needed to score, and that's what they did.
You're going to see a pretty good effort here. Williams felt that he got in on the longer run. He gets stopped right there, and then that extra effort pushes him into the end zone. It's tough to score once you get inside that 5-yard line like that.
I'm sure you noticed the same thing I did. That was kind of a shaky handoff by Molander. He was lucky just to hold on to that ball.
I think it was Williams, the way he accepted the ball. He just kind of, like a breadbasket, just took it in.
Well, Howfield able to knuckleball that extra point in to get him their 35th point. Coming up on Monday, ESPN2 at 7:30 Eastern, it's the Olympic trials in baseball as USA takes on Japan from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a rematch of the two teams who have met in a medal game in the last 3 Olympics. Monday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.
Here you are down 13 points. You're playing on the road. You get a big score here. You know, that's the thing that's, I think, deceptive. That all of a sudden you think you're down 20 in the second half. This thing's, it's going to be a long shot to get back into the mix. But that's not true. They got the touchdown. We're not even to the fourth quarter. If their defense can come up with a big stop, they're in a pretty good position.
Okay, but that seems to be the big if. 7 for 7, they've been basically in possessions and touchdowns. I really don't count that one with 3 seconds left at the end of the first half. Anaheim has just been completely unable to stop Arizona.
Sure, well, they're going to have to come up with a big break defensively. Whether they get a turnover, they're getting much more pressure on Bonner, and that's going to have to continue here on this drive.
Ooh, nice catch by Milton right at the back of the end zone. And he broke a couple of tackles. You'd have been better off, I guess, just to let it go. Down at the 3-yard line. Pete Porcelli, who wanted me to say hello to his Albany High students, in on the tackle.
Gotta love to see those 280-pound men covering kids. We saw a guy 300-pounder earlier tonight actually come up and just level somebody, Joe Birch.
Well, this is his avocation, Pete was telling me. You know, he is a school teacher by trade. This is his opportunity to show that he can still play and get some of his young people to know that he's still got the goods.
You see Anaheim has not played well defensively tonight, coming in only allowing 212 yards, good enough for second in the league. 268 already, still the fourth quarter remaining, although they have changed a little bit of their strategy here in the second half.
Schexnayder in motion left, gets the ball out. Good pass rush on the part of Williams, who, of course, is the man who scored the touchdown, comes in the Bullets blitz right in the face of Bonner.
See, we have seen a lot of this as far as Bonner. This is the only way you can get into him and affect him mentally, because he's in that zone where he is so accurate. You have to get either a linebacker, you have to get a defensive lineman, somebody in his face to try and get him out of that sink, because if not, you're not going to be able to stop this offense.
Well, that's the hot route in that case, because Williams has Tracy Mao in coverage. That's what he was trying to get the ball to. But Williams a little quicker than Mao right in Bonner's face. Now it's interesting, the very point in the second quarter, Bonner really hot. Now all of a sudden it looks like he's a bit erratic.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. You get into his face, you get him out of his rhythm a little bit, and this is what they've done this entire second half. The quarter is over. If they can come up with a stop on this drive, it's going to be an interesting finish.
Third down conversions, however, have been the strong suit of the Arizona Rattlers. Well, there's going to be another big one coming back. We finished 3 quarters. Down 13 point is Anaheim. Arizona 48, Anaheim 35. See the score 48-35. We're faced with a big third down play. There's a Tasmanian. Is that the Tasmanian Devil? Is that what that is on Bo Kelly's bicep? That's the Tasmanian Devil. I wanted to make sure I had my cartoons right before I said that, because I know my children would be offended if I didn't get it right. 3rd and 10, another big third down conversion. 5 of 6, Arizona. Bonner, plenty of time. Drills it in. Scheckstader with the diving attempt. Cannot come up with it. Big break for Anaheim now. And what will Danny White do?
Well, when you get pressure like that on Bonner, you know, and they've done that this second half. We mentioned that this is very important here because you're going to get him to the point where he's not just sitting back realizing that he's going to have all day to throw. Not particularly there did they get a great deal of pressure, but at least they're making his mind think a little bit that he's not going to be able to drop back and have all night to throw. And that's why you see an errant throw every once in a while.
You mentioned how erratic he has been in the second quarter. He hit on 9 straight. Now he has missed 5 of his last 7. Well, this is a 50-plus field goal attempt by Weir that's going to be short. The Maison cannot hang on to it. Boy, he had a lot of room to run. And I'm sure he's frustrated by that because we're looking at the possibility of midfield. Instead, they'll set up shop at the 5-yard line. Nonetheless, the point that you made with regards to a stop by Anaheim comes through. And now the Piranhas set up 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line with a little momentum as a result of the defense.
Anaheim is really going to have to try and jump on top of Arizona. Look at this. They have outscored their opponents 93-42 in the 4th quarter. They're off to a good start here, forcing the errant kick. They have the ball here, down 13. This is another big drive for them.
I was going to ask you if you thought the heat of Arizona was a factor, but then you would have kidded me, so I'll let it go. Molander out to drill on the flat. He breaks the tackle, cuts upfield, stripped of the ball, but he's out of bounds first across midfield. Jarrell with a big catch, and now the Piranhas look like they got something going.
Is it just me, or do you sense almost a different attitude? They're getting out of the huddle much sharper. Their receivers are making the catches, and they look like they have more spring in their legs. I don't know what it is about the 4th quarter, but Anaheim loves it. Maybe they're in better shape.
Dave Perilli made that point to us. I asked him that regarding the scoring of the 4th quarter. I said, does that have something to do with conditioning? He really believed that it did. Molander with pressure from the backside by Ash. He fumbles. Recovery is going to be made, I believe. Does he get it before it goes out of bounds? That's a big issue. Wes Fritz says no. Molander gets hammered from the back by Ash, but none of the Rattlers able to come up with it, and as a result, a break for Anaheim. They maintain possession.
Well, this is
Anaheim's possession.
This is something that Arizona felt very comfortable with. Look how tight the defensive backs are. That coverage right there, that tight coverage, really got Scooter Molander out of his rhythm, where he noticed it, and by the time he tries to elaborate and tries to make something happen, Richard Ash is right there to make the play.
Hunky Cooper, used to making big plays, would have been better suited just to fall on the ball instead of try and get it and run. Now, great throw by Molander over the middle of Bridges, but he can't hold on. Anthony Bridges listed as a defensive specialist, and it was clear there that that's probably the case. That ball hit him between the 3 and the 6.
Here's a young man that was a defensive specialist, but he ran such good routes in practice for the scout team that they said we might as well give him a chance in a game, and he's produced this year. But he has to come up with a big play like that.
But you got to be thinking that in this crucial situation, with the plethora of receivers that they've got, that he shouldn't even be on the field. Now 3rd and 27. Molander goes deep. Jump ball for Jarrell. Good coverage on the part of Gatewood. Had the opportunity to get his 7th interception, but couldn't come up with it. And now the very thing that they did not want to do, they're going to be forced to kick a long field goal.
How about Randy Gatewood here? Just good football savvy, great instincts. He is looking at Jarrell, eyeing the quarterback, waiting for the ball, goes up. Probably would have loved to have the interception there, but is just in perfect position there as a defensive back, and as you can see, tied for first with 6 interceptions in the league.
Again, I have to question the play calling only because you're not going to get 27 yards on 3rd down. Why not get the deep hook and kick a makeable field goal? Well, Howfield now with a long kick. And it's good. And it's good. Maybe that was his problem. He was a little bit too close.
Those extra points are tough, but give me that long field goal. I don't mind that.
56 yards on the kick for Howfield. And all of that confidence that he didn't have, well, it returned with that one. Ian Howfield clearly been struggling. 2 missed extra points, 2 short field goals that he couldn't come up with. Now all of a sudden it's a 56-yarder. It's good. Wow. The 56-yard field goal by Ian Howfield really is a pretty big deal. You're saying to yourself, what's the point? Not a big deal. It is. As a result of Weir's missed extra point, now they're within 10, 2 scores.
Yeah, 2 scores is all you need. Weir is kind of probably looking back saying he wish he could have that back. 11 points. You need 2 touchdowns. 10 is just a field goal and a touchdown.
Cooper plays it off the screen. A flag is down. Looked like Schexnayder might have pushed Kevin Carroll in the back. We haven't seen a lot of good coverage on kicks, but that was an exception.
Even with this penalty.
On the run back, block in the back, above the waist. Number 2, half the distance. First down, Arizona from the 1.
Well, it could have been either Kelly or Schexnayder in that case. It's boxing on ESPN2 Sunday night with a 10-round super middleweight bout. As former middleweight champion, I actually had this guy over to dinner at my house. I'm not kidding. Michael Nunn, 48-3 with 30 knockdown, takes on Everardo Armenta, 21-7 with 20 knockouts. From the Summit in Houston, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Dangerous play there. That ball, once it went off Burchett there, that ball floating, open for anybody to pick up the ball. And very dangerous pass there. And the fact that the ball was tipped made it that much more.
Well, Bonner has certainly struggled the last couple of series, and Danny White's got to come up with a play that's going to get his confidence back and get a first down.
1-on-1, ready? Get up in there, Bo.
Coming right at you, 2nd and 10 at the 2-yard line. Kevin Carroll on the blitz, and the pass is tipped, and he fumbles it, picked up by Carlton Johnson. That is a huge turnover. Everybody stood still as if it was an incompletion, but clearly it was a completion. Nathan Burchett strips him of the ball. It is going to be Anaheim's football.
Cooper in motion. He quick 3-step drop by Bonner, gets it out to Cooper. Cooper, once he goes down, he can still get up. He is not down. He can still get up. The ball comes out, and as you said, Todd, I don't think anybody realized that the ball was live. And luckily for Anaheim, Johnson picks it up.
And Hunky Cooper goes over to beef with the official. He had no beef. He had no beef at all. The ball was completely stripped. Big play by Nathan Burchett and Johnston. Now 1st and goal at the 5. Give Kevin Carroll the ball, right?
There it is.
Well, Hunky Cooper somewhat atones for his mistake by knifing in and dropping Carroll.
I am shocked to see Anaheim not taking advantage of getting the ball to the big receivers, but I can understand getting to Carroll here. Nice job of just getting through there. Cooper making up for the fumble there, but here at the 7-yard line, maybe you try to throw it in.
Well, no, but why are you pulling a guard in that case? Daryl Milburn pulls out, and that enables Cooper to knife in and get the play. Go with your straight-ahead blocking. You got the 270-pounder that supposedly runs 4.68. 2nd and goal at the 6. Molander gets it out in the flat to Jarrell. Does he get in? He's a little bit short. You know, I'm really impressed with Jarrell. Maybe not in terms of the great moves and the speed, but he doesn't drop the ball, and he's a great possession receiver.
Yeah, he also runs just probably some of the best routes you're going to see in the league. When he's able to do that, he's got 9 receptions on the night for 106 yards. Now here you go with the big fellow up the gut.
No question. I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. You've got that 270-plus pounder that runs as well as he does. Why are you pitching the ball?
And I know you want to try and get some speed build up here, but Ash has been defeated many times tonight by Kevin Carroll. This time he stepped up and made a great play here to bring up a big 4th down.
Well, give Ash credit. He did make a big play, but boy, that's just not a good call. 4th down. Jarrell in motion. They're going to go with the halfback pass. And he throws an interception right into the arms of Bo Kelly. An absolutely terrible series for the Anaheim Piranha offense, Kurt.
Some very, I guess we could say, unique play calling down in tight here. Arizona is all over this. They have a couple defenders sitting back there. Kelly just waiting there. Jarrell simply realizing he's about to run out of time, throwing it up right into the hands of Bo Kelly. Big opportunity thrown away by the Anaheim Piranhas.
1st and goal at the 5. Jarrell comes in motion, and clearly, I mean, it was so obvious at this point it was going to be a throw.
You could see Jarrell right when he actually got the pitch that he wanted to throw the ball. Looked like a little confusion there with the play calling and also the snap from the center quarterback. Well, Anaheim has done a nice job here in the second half of fighting back into this football game, and they're going to kick themselves. You see Jarrell simply, as I said, running out of time, about to be stopped. And when Kelly comes up, it looks like he might have a chance to return this. He steps out of bounds, but Anaheim's going to look back at those 4 plays and say, boy, we have to take advantage of a big turnover like that.
One of the things you have to do as a play caller, too, is think ahead. You can't just think one play at a time. We've got to get 5 yards in 4 plays, so what can we do? And the 2 running play calls where you pulled the guard and you swept wide just made no sense when you had that big bruiser. Rattlers with the ball. Schexnayder in motion right. They hand off to Tracy Mao, cutting up the middle. He's going to get about 2, maybe 3 yards. And now this is Arizona's opportunity to work the clock.
Yeah, this is where Danny White, I'm sure, is going to instruct Cedric Bonner to not only continue to execute the offense, but let's eat this as much clock as possible.
Let's go 10. I'm ready. I'll read it. Yeah, if he comes off hard, go to wide. Listen up. Right. X back. Laser 10 on 101. Ready?
Nice safe pass here. Quick 3-step drop. It's his choice here to go to Gatewood or to Schexnayder or Cooper, whoever he feels is more open.
Well, Gatewood had pushed Maison up. He had plenty of room, but once again, it's a case of running before you make the catch.
Yeah, here's a fan again getting another arena football, but Randy Gatewood wants to just concentrate here. Late in the game, you need just first downs. That's simple. And if he makes the catch, shakes a tackle, he's going to be able to pick at least a first down up because of the one-on-one coverage to the outside. That's something that Arizona, 3rd and long now. They got to continue to try and pick this first. This is a big first down for Arizona.
Got a post route down the middle. Bonner has missed 6 of his last 9, but clearly that one wasn't his fault. Another big 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Rolls out to buy time. Post route and Bridges gets fooled, but Maison is able to come off his man and make the pick. Carlton Johnson came back and made a block that I think most of the crowd thought was a clip, but the official was right there and didn't call it. And once again, another big turnover. And the question, though, here, are they going to be able to take advantage of it?
Anaheim won't go away. They continue to make big play after big play defensively. Their defense here has really cranked it up. You can see the pressure there by Hernandez, causing Bonner just to really heave it up. And sitting back there is a very dangerous man who's already taken a kickback at Rodney Maison. He's trying to create, get, and really improvise, do anything he can. Puts his team in a pretty good position. Now they have room. They have to really execute here and put a big score on the board up.
Plenty of time left, 5:30 and counting. Jarrell in motion right. Molander has trouble with the snap. Goes deep. He's got Hill at the post. He makes the catch. Touchdown.
I think with Anaheim, they can't hit the extra points. They can hit the 57-yard field goal. They can't score inside the 5. They like to score from outside. Big touchdown there. Jai Hill, look at the ball. Scooter Melander just doing everything he can to just bring the ball in. Throws this off his back foot. That is all arm and right on the money to number 21, Jai Hill, who simply looked that baby in for the big score.
Big extra point for Howfield here to keep them within a field goal. And he's able to put them through.
He's happy He's happy.
Milton Vaughn was actually in pretty good coverage, but that was a terrific throw by Molander to bring him within a field goal. Please, don't go away. Ian Halfield with the extra point that keeps them within 3 points, but you got to figure the 2 missed extra points and the 2 field goals, that's the difference in the game right now.
To his credit, he has been able to regroup and hit the big field goal and the extra point. At least his team is within striking distance of 3 points.
Halfield set to kick, 4:46 remaining. And he clears the bar. Wow.
I think he's feeling good now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's feeling good.
Well, you were the one that told us that you saw him in practice kicking him that far. Seeing's believing.
That's right.
Of course, after that 56-yard field goal, how could I doubt? Boy, what a leg. And you know what? We've both been around football long enough to know that that sort of kick can also inspire your defense. Now with 4:40 and the clock running, the Piranhas know that if they can stop them here, they've got a real good shot at stealing one here in a game that really looked like was not going to be theirs at any chance.
Yeah, second half has been a big difference here for Anaheim from a defensive standpoint.
First and 10 at the 5. Bonner with a little pressure goes deep. Maison breaks on it. Incomplete. Boy, that's a great play by Maison. That looked like that Gatewood had it, but Maison stayed with it and is able to separate him from the ball.
Good close there by Rodney Maison. It looked like the ground caused this ball to come up. We'll have to take a look here on the monitor. Look at Gatewood get behind Maison. Once the ball's up, Maison does a nice job of closing, gets his hand in there. Now watch as they fall. The ball comes out. I don't think there was any doubt who actually, I think there was some doubt who had the ball, who had the possession of the ball. I don't think the official had a clear idea.
Incomplete. Good call by the official. 2nd and 10 now. Gatewood in motion left. Screen to Mao underneath. Good block out front. He gets a couple of good blocks. He's able to stumble forward for the first down. Joe Birch